B2FJH from K2NB.
Oh, thank you. That's a technician class question. That's a pretty good one. Well, I have to say, Frank, they all sounded the same to me. So I'm going to say C because C is kind of a favorite letter around here. So I'll say C. And Frank, I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention. Who do I give it to?
After you comes Theodore.
There you go, Theodore. It's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling letter C, although I don't remember. This was probably one of the questions that I had to go over 1,000 times, and then I probably kind of blocked it out after I learned it, which is kind of annoying. But I'm feeling C, and I think I'll pass it over to Bernie. And one NDN from KD2UHF.
And one NDN. Frank, I kind of agree with everybody else. The answers came kind of fast, and I'm sitting here trying to think of it. I know the answer. Can you read answer C, please, just so I can get it in my head that that's the right answer?
Okay, let me read through them all because nobody got the right answer yet. Wavelength equals meters. Wavelength in meters equals frequency in hertz multiplied by 300 is answer A. Answer B, wavelength in meters equals frequency in hertz divided by 300. Answer C, wavelength in meters equals frequency in megahertz divided by 300. Answer D, wavelength in meters equals 300 divided by frequency in megahertz.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to do hertz and megahertz, and I can't do it that fast. Well, we know it's not C, so the only one that wasn't picked, I believe, was D. So I got to run with D, Frank. Like I said, if I had a minute to think about it, I could get the answer, but for whatever reason, it's throwing me a curve as well. I'm not sure it's a good question, to be honest with you. I know these are on the test, but it's tough. N1 NDN, somebody's got to have that answer. How about you, Isaiah?
Not sure. This is one of the ones I'm so bad at all these formula things. So I don't know. I'm just gonna go with you because D since it's not C. I'm gonna D sounded close enough. So I'm gonna go with D. And I'm sorry, Frank. I wasn't paying attention to who I passed over to, so I'll just pass it back to you.
Well, alrighty, this is WPHK. So 300 divided by frequency in megahertz would equal wavelength. So I'm going with letter D. But I will also agree that set fast, that wouldn't be easy to get. Reading it on a written sheet of paper, though, I can understand where that would be easier. And I'll pass it to K2OGO. This is KD2PHK.
Thank you. And I'm going to go with D. Sounds like a good one. And with that, I'll turn it over to KC2BLE. Your turn.
Thanks, Art. I, too, am going to go with letter D and send it on to Tony. KA2BIX, KC2BLE.
Thank you, Professor. This is K2BX. I go along with you. Go with D, and I'll send it down there to Florida, W2KUB, to Bill, K2BX.
Thanks, Tony. The answer is definitely D. And there's a very simple way to think about this. If you think in terms of 2 meters, if you take 300 divided by 44, it comes out 2 and a fraction. That's 2 meters. That's the formula. And over to you, Chris, AF2V in the group, W2KUB.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I mean, answer D. I just remembered it a little bit different than Bill. It's really 300 divided by one of them gives you the other one. So if you're looking for wavelength, it's 300 divided by the frequency. If you're looking for frequency, it's 300 divided by the wavelength. Either way, 300 is on top of the equation. So, yeah, answer D. Over to Bill, KD2HTD, Main TV.
This is KD2HTD. Good evening to the net. I have to admit that I couldn't remember whether the 300 went on top or on bottom, so I picked the wrong formula. But once the description started coming around, I said, yeah, it has to be D. And I think Bill W2KUB. I think that's probably the way to fix it in the mind. Is that? Of course, I kind of agree with Bernie. If you had these things all written out before you, it would be a lot easier to pick it out because you could mentally do a few gymnastics and figure out who was closer than what. So, with that, I'll go to Josh, way over there in Bennington. N1ZGA, KD2HTD.
W2WCR repeater.
Thank you very much there, Josh. Good signal from Vermont, and good evening to everybody. I gotta agree with Pete. If I could read the question, I would definitely be able to figure it out. And not being able to see it on paper, I think I'm gonna have to go with Bernie and Pete and Art and Ted. I'm going to go D Delta and send it back to Net, KK6MCU.
Hey, that means it's back to me. Anyway, so the question was, how does the wavelength of the radio wave relate to... No, that ain't it. Let me see where we got here. Okay, what is the formula for converting frequency to approximate wavelength in meters? The correct answer is answer D. Wavelength in meters equals 300 divided by the frequency in megahertz. Okay, so let's... Wow, that was a tough one. Bill, check your microphone there. You got that motorboat stuff again. It wasn't real loud, but it was there. Okay, let's see if anybody else out there didn't get a chance to check in yet and then would like to check in. This is K5EVI Frank in the W2WCR TechNet, looking for more check-ins. This is K5EVI, and the next question is, what does Mike Uniform Foxtrot, or MUF, stand for? What does MUF stand for? Answer A, the minimum usable frequency for communication between 2 points. Answer B, the minimum usable, Answer B, the maximum usable frequency for communication between 2 points. Answer C, the minimum usable frequency during a 24-hour period. Or D, the maximum usable frequency during a 24-hour period. What do you think, Kyle? W2SOX in the group, K5EVI.
Well, thank you, Frank. I'm hoping it's not like baseball tonight and there'll be 3 strikes and I'm out. But I remember this one, but I don't think I remember the answer. I'm going to go with answer B, Bravo. And I'm watching, hearing myself there on YouTube. This little Motorola sounding good on Josh's YouTube, so thanks for putting that up there. Pass it over to Norm. W2SOX, over to you.
Can you give me the answers again, Frank?
Okay, here we go. So the question was, what does the MUF stand for? Mike Uniform Foxtrot. Answer A, the minimum usable frequency for communication between 2 points. Answer B, the maximum usable frequency for communication between 2 points. Answer C, the minimum usable frequency during a 24-hour period. Or answer D, the maximum usable frequency during a 24-hour period. Pick one of those.
I'm going to go with B. I'm pretty sure it's the highest frequency. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go with B.
K2NB. Frank, don't tell everybody else it's the one that you ain't picked yet, because that's not fair to the first 3 of us that's lined up here in the beginning of the net. That gives the answer away. I think the answer is most usable frequency, but I didn't hear that. So I'm going to pick D also. I'm going to pass it to Lenny. That's WB2FJH from K2NB.
Oh, thank you. Well, I should know to follow Bill. He always knows these kind of things. I kind of like B. It sounded correct. So I'm going to go with B, Bravo. And I'll turn it over to, I think it's Theodore. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think it's letter B. I remember this one. Yeah, D is my answer. B, Bravo. And over to Bernie. N1NDN, KD2UHF.
N1NDN. The current MUF is 8 megahertz for this approximate area. Its maximum usable frequency, letter B. And I have a website. It's hamwaves.com/ionograms. And you can get all sorts of geeky information, including the MUF from a station in Massachusetts. So they actually send radar up into the air and measure this stuff. Okay, over to Isaiah, N1NDN.
Okay, thanks, Bernie. Yep, I actually remember this question. It is letter B, Bravo. I'm going to pass it over to Peter. Sorry about forgetting your call, Sam. Sorry about forgetting you were asking me last time, Peter. KD2PHK from KD2UHD.
Thank you, Isaiah. Well, I'm going with letter B, maximum usable frequency. And C and D, where they said the 24-hour period, that was just a bunch of bull to mess you up. With that, I'll switch over to Art. This is KD2PHK.
Thank you, Pete. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with B. That's what I figured I got down here, so that's what we're going to stick with. KC2, BLE, your turn. Well, thank you, Art. And yep, the answer is B. There's no thinking about it. The answer is B. What is it? It is the maximum usable frequency that you can expand in communication around the Earth without it skipping off into space, because it refracts off the ionosphere. And that is, some days it's higher, some days it's lower. So that's what it is. That's what we're talking about. And it is very important in all communication, anything that depends on HF. So with that, I'll get off the soapbox and listen to Tony. And this is KC2BLE over to KA2BIX.
W2WCR repeater.
K2BX. Question said, what was MUF stand for? And the maximum usable frequency for between 2 points. Didn't say anything about 24 hours. Didn't say anything about high or low. Just said, that's all it said. So the answer is B. Sorry, Professor. I had to say that. Over to Bill. W2KUB.
Thanks, Tony, and you guys are both right. But I'm going to go with B also because Lenny said so. And with that, we'll pass it over to Chris, AF2VE, in the group, W2KUB.
Thanks, Bill. So the answer is B. Why do I know this? Because Bernie just told me. I knew what MUF was, but I wasn't actually sure whether it was distance or time. And it's actually kind of like neither. It's really ever an area. But Bernie said so, so it must be true. Over to you, Bill. KD2HTD from AF2V.
KD2HTD. Chris, I like your explanation. Although I like Tony's and Bill's and especially Ted's, but I had that B. The MUF is B, and we're going to send it over to Josh. Pick it up, Josh. KD2HTD here.
Thank you, Josh. And I also go B, Bravo, maximum usable frequency. And that's it. I don't think there's anybody else in line, so it's back to Frank. KA5BVI, KK6NCU.
This is KA5BVI. And the question was, what does MUF stand for? And the correct answer is answer B. The maximum usable frequency for communication between 2 points. Has nothing to do with extended periods. All right, that was good. So let's see if there's anybody else out there who didn't get a chance to check in yet. Would like to check in. This is KA5BVI looking for some more check-ins.
This is
Kilo Bravo 1, India Victor Echo, mobile.
Hey, Steve, you follow Brett, KK6NCU, and then turn it back to me. So the next question pool, let's go. When constructing a beverage antenna, which of the following factors should be included in the design to achieve good performance at the desired frequency? Let me read that again. When constructing a beverage antenna, which of the following factors should be included in the design to achieve good performance at a desired frequency? Answer A. Its overall length must not exceed 1/4 wavelength. Answer B. It must be mounted more than 1 wavelength above the ground. Answer C. It should be configured as a 4-sided loop. Or answer D. It should be 1 or more wavelengths long. Okay, Kyle. W2SOX in the group, K5EVI, go ahead.
Well, I just had a black cat walk out in front of me, so I'll probably get this wrong. But from every beverage antenna I've seen, they're all extremely long. I've seen them on people's fences and not very high off the ground, so I eliminated that one. And beverage antennas, typically, you can use them to listen to a bunch of different frequencies. They're only receive-only antennas, if I remember right. So I'm going to go with letter D, Delta, and we'll pass it over to Norm and see what he thinks. W2SOX, over to you, Norm.
AC2AJF. Yeah, I'm going to go with D also. I think that's the right answer on that one, because I know it's all long. So I'll go with D.
K2NB, Washington County. I'm glad I'm done taking tests. I can't remember what time it is. I'm going to say A. Well, then I'll pass it to WB2FJH, K2NB.
Okay, thank you. Well, oh my, D is the only one that seems to make sense to me. So I'm gonna go with Delta. But Bill, I can't guarantee this one, but it sounds right. The others don't sound like they would work. The Delta seems like it would work. So I'll turn it over to our friend Theodore.
We leave off with, Lenny. Did you send it over to Theodore?
I said Theodore. Where'd you go, Theodore?
Okay, you might be on timeout. So over to Bernie, N1NDN.
N1NDN. Okay. Well, I'm stuck. It's either C or D. D, the only reason D doesn't make sense to me is because I didn't think it should be more than a wavelength long. Seems like a, unnecessarily long antenna. However, any beverage antenna that I've seen is usually in a rectangular pattern, almost like a loop, because loop antennas are quiet. So I'm going to break with the crowd and go with C, Charlie, and see what Isaiah thinks. Hopefully he's there. What happened to your brother, Isaiah? N1NDN here.
TUHDN. Yeah, I have no clue. He was up here with me on this radio in a shack. Then he went downstairs to the HK, and I don't know. He must be doing something. So, but yeah. The only one that makes sense to me, D. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. I haven't really asked this question yet in my study and stuff. But I'm not sure. But I'll pass it over to T. KD2PSK from KD2UHC.
W2WCR repeater.
Thank you, Isaiah. Delta, Delta, Delta. Over to you, Art. KD2PHK.
Next.
I think I am, Frank, and I'd like you to read the answers one more time. KC2BL8.
Roger. When constructing a beverage antenna, which of the following should be included in the design to achieve good performance at the desired frequency? Answer A. Its overall length must not exceed a quarter wavelength. Answer B. It must be mounted more than one wavelength above the ground. Answer C. It should be configured as a four-sided loop. Or answer D. It should be one or more wavelengths long.
Okay, the answer is definitely D.
And with that, I'll pass it on to Tony. KA2BLX, KC2BLA.
Right, Ted. This is K2VX. I'm going with you on this one. D is the answer. Should be more than one wavelength long. That's what it should be. So without any further ado, we're going to give it to Bill. W2KUB, K2VX.
Thanks, Tony. I'm going to go with both you and Ted. It's got to be more than one wavelength long. Generally, they're fairly low to the ground. They're usually terminated on one end. It functions almost like a piece of long transmission line. So D is the answer. And with that, we'll pass it to Chris, AF2V in the group, W2KUB.
Thanks, Bill. Well, I can't say it any better than Bill just did, so I'm just going to say D and move along smartly. Over to the other Bill, KD2HDD from AFTV.
KD2HDD, what did I write? D. I'm a D. D Delta. Yeah, it's got to be long. Got to be close to the ground. Sometimes they even lay on the ground. But let's see what Josh says. N1ZGA, this is KD2HDD.
I will also go with D Delta, and then it's over to KB1 IVE Mobile from KK6 NCU.
I thank you, sir. Good evening to all. D Delta. That's definitely what I saw when I was doing some studying. So, and Pete must know, because Pete just passed. So, anyways. Frank, that is it. Over to you, sir. KB1IVE Mobile.
Hey, Frank, K2OGO.
Go ahead, Art.
I picked answer D. I had the company come in kind of quick like, so that's, I'll go with D.
Okay. When constructing a beverage antenna, which of the following factors should be included in the design to achieve good performance at the desired frequency? The correct answer is answer D, Delta. It should be one or more wavelengths long. Bernie, you missed one of the classes that they have every 6 months down in Albany or in that area. Dave Galutley always sets aside a meeting place down there. Bill and I went down there, and they brought a 159-foot beverage antenna and put it up in the classroom, and it had clips every so often to make it longer and shorter, and so they had it modified for each band. But they put in these poles that were about 8-foot poles, and they mounted it at the about a 6-foot level on the poles, and they spread it around the classroom. Now they did go in a square because the classroom was kind of small. The only way we could get it there, but basically they wanted to set it up out in the hallway, but the library wouldn't let them. So it was 159 feet long. So and they used it pretty good. So let's get rid of all the questions and the answers. And now, if you got your own questions or your own answers, this is the time. And if you got anything to buy, sell, trade, want, need, give away, help somebody, or need help, or whatever it is, or if you just got a question that's totally unrelated to the question pool, or if you need help with anything, now is the time. And it's also the last go around, so say your 7 3s at the end. Kyle, W2SOX in the group, K5EBI, go ahead.
Thank you one last time, Frank. And good hearing everyone in there tonight. I did a lot better than I thought I was going to do. I got 2 for 3. So that's 66. That's what you call a doctor anyways. A doctor graduates with a D. It's still called a doctor. But not much else. I got my scholarship for the truck driving class, which was great. I should start doing that in the next couple of weeks. There's 2 people ahead of me in line for that. So once the spot opens up, I'll be in. And I also, and some other news, let me roll it, picked up a really good deal on a VHF repeater. It's a Motorola Max Track 120. I thought it was UHF. I sent some pictures to Bernie, but it ended up being VHF. So the duplexer inside is too wide for amateur use, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I may part it out, sell one of the radios, but if anyone might be interested in that, sell you one of the radios so you can make your own All-Star node, not even program it for you. But I paid $50 for it. It was the old Bay Ridge Rescue Squad VHF repeater, so I'm going to try to see if I can get some cans for that, possibly, but I don't want to spend too much money on it, so might part it out, but don't know yet. All right, that's it for me tonight, guys. 7-3 to you, and we'll talk soon. This is W2SOX. Over to you, Norm.
I don't have too much. I guess I'll say my please to everyone, and you have a good evening for sure. I actually do have one question on the Febridge antenna. I knew that it had to be extremely long. Is that only receive only?
W2WCR repeater.
That's definitely correct, Norm, because you get a half a mile of wire out there, you're not going to tune it very well.
But if you clip it off, like they were saying, can you short it on the end and utilize it?
You can make it longer or shorter, but the big thing is the length out there is going to pick up the signal off that length and amplify it to come through the antenna. So as the receiving antenna, they're pretty fantastic. You get a lot of signal coming in, but it's very, very hard to tune. That's why most people just use them for a beverage antenna, and a lot of the radios now have receive-only ports.
That answers my question. All right, everyone have a good evening. Take care, be careful, and we'll catch you again. KC2AJF.
K2NB, Washington County. Yeah, I didn't have a very good night. I couldn't guess the right answer if I had to tonight. With that, I'll send it over to Lenny, WB2FJH from K2NB.
Okay, thank you. This is WB2MJH. I guess I got 2 out of 3, so that's not too bad. I don't know if that would be passing on the exam. What is passing on the exam? 70 something. Well, thank God we don't have to pass any more exams. I'll turn it over to Theodore and see if he's back. This is WB2MJH.
I guess he's not back. N1 NDN. I got 2 out of 3 as well. And no, Lenny, 66 is not passing. 70 is what you got to have. Anyway, I have a Tentec Model 238 tuner for sale. It's a 1.5 kilowatt tuner. It's got all the bands 10 through 160. It's been restrung. The lights work. Everything's good on it. It's a really good shape, mint. And I have the manual for it and everything. Locally, I'd sell it for a couple $100, which is a bargain. If anybody's interested, you know where to find me. What else have I got? I think that's it for now. Just moving the tuner. Sold the radio earlier today, so that was good. And passing it down to Isaiah, N1 NDN.
Bernie, KD2HD. Not much to say. Moved some stuff around in my shack today, so it's a lot easier for me to operate now. So because I had a foot pedal that was for my radio that was extremely hard to press down, so I replaced that with a much better one that's much easier to press down. So that's nice when I operate in contests. So yeah, not much else to say. Just a little bit of FT8 a while ago. So, and that's about it. So I'll pass it over to Peter, KD2PHK from KD2UHD.
Well, thank you. Once again, I enjoyed the net. And I want to say 73 to everybody and pass it over to Art. This is KD2PHK.
Well, thank you, Pete. Have a nice evening. Nice chatting with you when we hear you in there. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to KC2BLE because I don't have a thing going on.
Well, thanks, Art. Yeah, no, I haven't got anything going on either. But I think of the beverage antenna is you got a long wire, you throw it out and hook it up to the receive. Then you pick up your beverage and sit down and listen. And with that, I'll send it on over to, looking forward to breakfast in the morning. Yep, going to look forward to breakfast in the morning. And those that do, remember to put in your time for tonight. And now I'll send it on over to Tony. K2BIX, KC2BLE, 73 to all, and good night.
Thank you, Ted. This is K2BX, and I am also looking forward to breakfast in the morning, which we always do. We always have a good time, and I don't have anything else. I hope everybody has a good week, good weekend, and I'm USY, and I'm out of here, so we're gone. K2BX.
Thanks, Tony, and 73 to you. I'll be with you in spirit at breakfast tomorrow. I look forward to when we can get back together up there. And Ted, regarding the beverage antenna, yeah, I agree with you. Throw the wire out the window, have a beverage, and forget the whole thing. With that, we'll pass it to Chris, AF2V in the group, W2KUB.
Thanks, Bill. Let's see. I got nothing to buy, nothing to sell, nothing to trade. Yeah, I got nothing tonight, man. I feel kind of boring. I usually have something to say or talk or whatever, man. It's been one of them days. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll have more to talk about tomorrow night. I probably will. I don't want to disappoint you guys. Anyway, with that, I will just say 7-3 and send it down to Bill, KD2ACD from AF2.
KD2HCD, Chris, good to hear from you. Bill, the rest of the group. Wanted to put in a plug. There's still the opportunity to get on the ARRL's Volunteer Hub. I probably should be able to send you a link, but tell you the truth, I'd have to go to probably Dave Galletley and get a link to send it to you, but it's nice to have all that information in one area. I am trying to record the time. There's a lot of people on the net tonight that are not signed up for it, so you're going to go into anonymous time. Let's see. I think that's it. I'll say 73 to the group. I probably won't be at breakfast in the morning, but I'll listen for you on the radio. KD2HTD, over to Josh. N1ZGA, this is KD2HTD 73.
WCR repeater.
All right, thank you very much there, Josh. N1ZGA, this is KK6NCU. And I think I got at least 2 out of 3 right. I'm not sure. But anyway, I talked with the activities director at the campground where I work, and we would be welcoming some amateur radio people coming in and doing some demonstrations. There'll be more in the future. But anyway, yeah, they would like to have you guys come out and shoot some antennas up in the trees and get some people on the air. So that's what I got. And $73 for tonight. Over to KB1 IVE. 73 all. This is KK6NCU.
Again, thank you, Brett. Appreciate it. Nothing to buy at the moment. Gonna be saving my pennies, and I feel a radio or two in the future, maybe by summer, once I get other payments looked after. That's about it. And Frank, I do have another check-in for you. Stand by.
KD2UIM checking in. Thanks, Steve.
What time we heard you out there? Thought you gave up the frequency there. This is KA5BBI. Thanks, everybody. It's been another fun-filled and exciting TechNet. Kyle, if you're listening, I looked up on eBay, and they got some UHF duplexers from 440 to 470 megahertz, six can jobbies for $200. They got some other ones there, more expensive, and they got some other ones there that aren't complete. But anyway, that's just to give you an idea what you're looking at there. KA5BBI. All right, thank you. And that was for W2SOX. And let me see what else we got here. We got class and testing coming up on March 27th and 28th. We're going to have another tech class. It's going to be up to the Waren County Municipal Center. We're going to start at 8 o'clock on Saturday and go through 4, and then go back on Sunday morning, 8 o'clock till noon. And then testing is at noon. So sign up on w2wcr.org for the class, the test. If you can VE, if you can volunteer to be an instructor, any of those things. There's a block on there for any of them to check off. So go to our website, w2wcr.org, and look up the under tech class and sign up, and we'll appreciate it. It should be on listed on the ARL website in the next day or two. I put it in yesterday, and they take a day or two to look at it, and then they put it up for me. So thanks everybody, and thanks everybody who helped out again over the weekend when we did the testing at Mickey's place. It came out pretty good. I'll say 73. Good night, everybody, and have a good evening. This is KA5BBI closing the net and returning readers back to normal amateur use.
And 2MC says the Museum Ships Weekend is on.
Put you down at the end, Mickey. When is it on?
June 5th. June 5th and 6th, that weekend. They're debating on whether they're going to have it or not. They sent out an email looking for, how many would participate. A whole bunch of people emailed back. So, yeah, they already got a bunch of ships planned to be on the air. So I sent them one back and said we'd be doing Whitehall again.
June 6th, ships on the air all day, right? Or all weekend?
Yep, all weekend. 00 Zulu on the 5th to the 2359 Zulu on the 6th. So, yeah, it's all weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
My little notepad here. Thanks a lot. And we got you in there, too. So, all right, we're going to go over here and play Bopay.
I'll catch you guys in a little bit. K5EBI.
7-3 and 2MC.
Then 2MC.